Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Alhamdulillah, we praise Allah for guiding all of us to Islam. We praise Allah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still making us alive. I was just talking to the sisters about khushu', right? Imagine Zakaria, Maghrib prayer will be your last prayer. Would you have khushu'? 100%, is it true? Because there's no more chance, right? That is the final prayer. This is how we should approach a prayer, right? As if it's our last prayer, yeah? So today's talk is about the first three verses that was revealed by Allah in the Qur'an, yeah? Which contains so many important messages that all of us must surely understand. Yeah. The Quran was revealed in how many years? 23 years. 13 years was in Mecca. 10 years was in Medina. Yeah. Now we must understand that the Quran is not revealed as what you're reading now. All right. And this is quite important because people get confused that, oh, it's revealed. No, definitely not. Yeah. It is revealed in order that only Allah knows why it was revealed that way. But it also is because of the circumstances of the time that it was revealed. Yeah. Now, before the first revelation, yeah, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ received some signs that perhaps that things were different. Do you know what are the signs? So, for example, when he had a dream, it always comes true. You have to know with the prophets, yeah, the dreams that they have will always be a revelation, yeah, and this is important, yeah, and he knows that everything he dreamt would come true, yeah, and just a brief history about this, and then Prophet Muhammad would start to devote himself to seclusion, to worship Allah, right? Those who have been, you go right? Did you went there, right? Up. To the cave, Hira cave. Right. How did you find it? A lot of Pakistanis and Asians are all worshipping, praying the two sunnah prayer there, right? I'm sure if you're going to go there, you will sacrifice a camel or a sheep, right? But that he went into seclusion, and Ayub will verify. Was it easy to climb up?
It was very tough.
Very tough. But for sure, because we are not used to that kind of condition, right? I remember when I went to Bilal, I hiked a mountain up. It took us 3 nights to reach the top, right? And of course, yes. So of course, I hired the Indonesians to carry my luggages, carry all the pots and pans that they can cook for us. They catch the fish there, they cook for us, right? For us, we are wearing expensive boots, right? For them, they're just wearing what? Flip-flops. And so it's their way of life, right? No problem. They're carrying all the big sacks, but they can carry everything. So again, but that was how Prophet Muhammad, the second thing besides the dream, he went into seclusions, right, in order for him to to be closer to Allah, right? Because he knows that something is going to happen somehow or other, right? So he went to this cave called the Hira cave and a mountain called Jabal Nur, right, the mountain of light, yeah, in order for him to be secluded, right? We know that he was praying, and in fact, his wife Khadija would always prepare the food for him, right? To all. If you were to be doing the same, Tariq, going somewhere, would your wife make noise?
Would my what?
Wife makes noise.
Yeah, of course. She'll be complaining.
Yeah. Khadija would never make noise, right?
My wife makes complaints when I ask her to cook dinner.
So in the sense that, of course, right? Because Khadija, as you know, is one of the exceptional women, right? There are 4 of them. Khadija, Maryam,
wife of Pharaoh,
Asiya, wives of the Pharaoh, and
Aisha.
No, Aisha, Fatima. But another less important narration is they put Aisha there, right? But it's always Fatima, Margaret.
It's got pizza.
Whose pizza? Alhamdulillah. Allah's compassion. Allah gave him the risk.
Exactly.
Brothers Fatima,
Okay, sorry.
Khadija, Maryam, and Aisha, right? The four best women. Yeah. So revelation came. How did revelation came?
In the cave. The first revelation came in the cave.
Yeah. How? What happened exactly? So no, before that, because Jibril came, right? And then he asked the Prophet ﷺ to read, and he said, "No, I cannot read." Right? And then he gave him a tight squeeze, so much that he almost couldn't breathe. Yeah. And then Jibril ﷺ said, "Read," and he said, "Okay, same thing. I cannot read." And then again another squeeze, right? And then he said, "Read," right? And then he said, "I cannot read." And then this was revealed, right? Which surah?
90. No,
90?
Is it 91 or is it
96, right?
Iqra,
Surah Al Alaq, right? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. Read in the name of your Lord who has created. He has created man from a clod. Read, and your Lord is the most generous, who has taught by writing by the pen. Yeah, he taught man that which he knew not. Who was the first person who wrote? Even before that. Before that.
Adam?
Was it the pen?
No, not that was.
Yeah, the pen, exactly.
Can Adam write?
The pen.
Idris. Yeah, he's the first one who was able to write. Yeah. So this is it, right? After he received these revelations, what did he do?
He went home to his wife.
He rushed home to his wife and asked to be covered, right? Who was the wife? Khadija, right? And then Prophet Muhammad said, right? I'm afraid something is going to happen to me. What did Khadija say? Never.
Yeah.
You are the one who always enjoining ties of kinship. You speak the truth, right? You are always the one who help the poor. Yeah. All these good things he received, and he was, subhanAllah, is such an amazing wife that they always assured Muhammad sallallahu, right, that Allah would never harm him. That's why Aisha radhiyallahu anha was always jealous of Khadija, always jealous, even though she never met her. Prophet sallallahu was always very talking good things about Khadija. Why? Because he said to Aisha, because Aisha was very jealous, right, woman as usual, right, and then he was telling Aisha radhiyallahu anha, look, right. She was putting his foot quite firm. When nobody believes in me, Khadija did. And it's quite important to understand. You will know, right, in your moments of test from Allah, who's the one who's supporting you? Like the time of Ayub alayhi salam, right? Everybody left him except the wife. Because he looked so disgusting, right? The skin started to peel off and all this. Nobody wants to be in his things and all this, right? Only the wife was able to be that. And even then, why was Ayub angry with the wife?
She told him, why would this happen to you?
Sorry?
She told him, why would this happen to you?
She was actually asking him, Ayub, to make dua to Allah, to ask for his help. What did Ayub say? You should know your history.
Yes. Let me think back.
What did he say?
He said that I've only been sick for 7 years.
No, he did say that. He asked why first, right? How many years have we have all these blessings from Allah? How many years have we been tested? And then she said, oh, I've said for 70 years we are given many things by Allah, right? And for 7 years we are tested by Allah. And then what did Ayub say? You mean after 70 years we are given all the blessings and all our tests us only for 7 years? You want me to ask Allah to help you? I swear by Allah, if I have a stick, I will beat you up. And that's what he said. If you know even a deeper story about Ayub alayhi salam, Shaitan was the one who made him lose everything. What happened? Do you know the story?
Challenge for
He went to Allah actually, right? Shaitan went to Allah and said, Ya Allah, this person was only worshipping you because he have all his wealth. Take away his wealth, he would not worship you. And then what happened? Allah took away all his wealth. And lo and behold, he's still worshipping Allah. So Shaitan was very, very upset, right? His plan didn't work. Went to Allah again and said, Ya Allah, look at him. If you remove all his children, he would not be worshipping you. Allah killed all the children. And Ayub still was worshipping Allah. And then last resort, went to Allah again. Allah said, Ya Allah, if you remove all his wealth, he would not worship you. Then true enough, everything was almost like a dead person, dead man walking, literally, except the heart and the mouth. Right? And then even then, Shaitan came up to him. Right? Shaitan came up to Ayub alayhi salam and said, right, look at yourself, right? You worship Allah, and yet all these things happen to you. Trying to provoke the whole situation. Just like what's happening in Palestine today, correct? That they lost everything. Children, they lost properties, their health. As you know, some of them were not even given any anesthesia, right? And they were operated on and all this, right? And again, all these stories, brothers, always repeat themselves, agree? History always repeats. And your reaction, if you have knowledge, you know that, subhanAllah, right? They will get the best reward. And not only that, because some of the sisters, they were very concerned, very sad. I said, don't be sad. Allah has his own plans, which we do not know. Again, if you look at all these stories that happen from the social media, and we shared this before, the story about how the boy was called by the parents, come in the house, and then on the way to the house, what happened? The bomb fell and the boy died. And that night, the father or the mother had a dream, and in the dream, the father or the mother saw the boy, and the boy said, "What happened to you?" Because the only concern was not because of the death. The only concern was whether the child suffered during the explosion, right? And the boy came in the dream, and the boy said, right, don't worry, mom. All what happened to me was that I was just running to the house, and then suddenly the house becomes a garden, and I only feel like a pinch, just a small pinch, and that's about it. SubhanAllah. If that happened to the boy, surely, inshallah, it happened to everybody. Agree, right? Don't be concerned about the dead. Allah will definitely take care of the dead. Be concerned about yourselves, about the living, how your life is, and that's very important. Right? That Allah would definitely have mercy on those especially died in that way. The animals, for example, do you think the animals are suffering that because we want to eat the animals? No, for sure. If we follow what the halal procedure of slaughtering, which means what? First of all, before that, free range, right? Not like those Vietnamese or Chinese people, right? If you've seen that, the chickens, right? They were like upside down, hanging upside down, and they would carry all the chickens here upside down and then carry to the slaughterhouse. And completely, it's not. It may not make it halal, because halal is not just about Bismillah. Agreed? How the animals are treated. Secondly, all these animals, right? As you said, you must have a sharp knife.
Cannot see
the other animal, right? It must be one, not.
What happens if you mess up the cut? Does that animal now become like you have to just throw the animal away?
No. Allah knows best, right? But do your best. Have you anybody slaughtered sheep before? Where in
America?
Oh, alhamdulillah. We never. It's just like cutting a cake.
When I was younger, I was younger.
Yeah, I'll do that always in Singapore. You did, yeah? In where? In where?
Palestine.
My little sisters like to watch, which I thought was crazy.
So surely, right? If you cut in that best manner, they won't feel anything. Right? They won't feel anything, inshallah, because Allah is merciful. Allah won't make the animals suffer. So come back to this, right? So let's break down about what we can learn from this first revelation. Yeah. So what is the thing that you must understand from this? Anybody? Oh, you're here. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, I told you. So when you were talking about the Vietnamese, I said, watch out.
He's late. He should have heard what I said about his Vietnamese. But anyway, what is the most important thing that we must learn from the first revelation? Iqra means? Yeah, no, but means? Knowledge. Knowledge is the most important thing that all of us must acquire. Brothers, it is not a sunnah to seek knowledge. It is an obligation for us to seek knowledge. Agreed? No matter what it is, there's no excuse to say, oh, I didn't know that I'm not supposed to do this in the prayer. I didn't know I'm not supposed to celebrate the Prophet's birthday. I didn't know that I'm not supposed to celebrate the New Year and Christmas and all this. Remember the video I sent to you of these people in Lebanon? They were celebrating the Christmas and thinking that it's a norm. Oh, what did they say about? Oh, it's okay. Jesus was born on this day. They're confused.com, right? Even the Christians themselves, they know that Isa wasn't born on that day. That's why there's a split between the Orthodox Christians and the modern Christian, right? For Orthodox, they celebrate when? On the January 6th, I think, right?
Even then, that date's wrong.
Polish Orthodox, right? Oh, I see. You guys doing the bid'ah. Orthodox. Orthodox is the real one, right?
It says he was born in spring, though. That's the funniest part.
Yeah.
In the Bible, it says he was
and in the
born
Quran itself, right?
So the trees
Maryam wouldn't have had the dates in winter.
Yeah.
Agreed. That it says very clear, right? That something must be wrong with the narrations. But that makes their claim of, oh, Isa was born in this, so we should celebrate that, completely baseless. Yeah. So it's important that we seek knowledge, right? So the first thing of the first revelation in Surah number 96, verse number 1 to 5, right, is about knowledge, which we're going to discuss today, right? Now, in the hadith, a Sahih hadith, Prophet Muhammad said that the excellence of knowledge is greater than the optional actions, and the best of your religion is piety, is taqwa, right? Abu Darda said, whoever holds that going off in the morning or going off later in the day to gain some knowledge is not jihad, then he is deficient in his intellect and deficient in his opinion. It is a struggle, agreed, to come here for many people, right? Because you must have your appointment with your families, you must have appointments with somebody else, right? Some people have girlfriends. Agreed? Precisely now. Indonesia is very common, you know? Indonesia is sad, isn't it true? Having girlfriends, you seem so shocked. Having girlfriends in Indonesia is very common. I didn't say it's right, this is common, and that is very disturbing. Yeah? Yeah, don't talk about the guys, right? Albania. That's a different story. No, Yemen is different, right? Especially having girlfriends. Having girlfriends.
No.
Just boyfriend.
Because they hold hands. Hold on. Let me be clear, right? You hold hands. Do you hold hands?
Do we hold hands?
Men and
no,
men.
It's weird.
No. Saudi, right?
Yeah.
Saudi, they kiss each other.
Yes. Okay, now Ka'ab bin Abbar said, the student of knowledge, listen, the student of knowledge is like the one who goes off in the morning or later in the day to fight in the way of Allah, right? The Majid and the Majestic. So it is a form of jihad. To seek knowledge, to come to this mosque, right? Very important to understand this, right? Now, indeed, some of the Salaf, when you say Salaf, what does it mean? Salaf?
The people who can
My favorite.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's favorite. What do you mean?
No, he doesn't want to play in the AICC, he wants to play in the Salafi mosque.
Yeah,
No,
that's good. I like that one. That's nice.
What's the difference? What does Salaf means?
The Sahaba and the students.
First three generations.
The first three generations. First three generations. Yes, right. The first three generations is the Salaf. Should we follow that method?
Yes.
Of course, because none knows better than them, right? Now, some of the Salaf have stated clearly among them Imam Malik, Shafi'i, and Imam Ahmad, and it stated in the word of Abu Hanifa that the most excellent actions after obligatory duties is seeking knowledge. Right? So it is important, it's mandatory, right? And you and I know about the hadith about seeking knowledge, right? What's happening today, inshallah? Now, at your side, who's surrounding us? The angels, inshallah, right? In a long hadith, right? The angels are always looking for people who are remembering Allah. Inshallah, that's what we are doing now, right? And on that basis, once the angels know the group of people in the mosque are remembering Allah, what do? They call the other angels to come and to surround all of us. And the wings of the angels will extend so much, it extends from the top of the skies to the bottom, right? And it is so full of angels, inshallah, right? And cut the long story short, you know about this hadith. Eventually, Allah will say, tell them I'm going to forgive all their sins. Even if somebody was sleeping behind, not listening, they will still be included, right? Because the hadith, right? Because the person was in the corner, he wasn't part of the group. Allah will still forgive this person.
At least he made it.
Sorry?
At least he went to the mosque.
At least he was playing, the games back at the mosque. Okay? Now, Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah mentioned optional knowledge is better than the excellence of extra and optional worship. This is because the benefits of knowledge in general, it benefits its possessor and it benefits the rest of people as well, right? Whereas your worship is usually worshipping you alone, as in it benefits you alone. Do you understand? Because if you seek knowledge, inshallah, what would you do with this knowledge?
Spread it.
Spread it to your family members especially, right? And that will benefit everybody, inshallah, right? Whereas your own worship is only for you in general. Not only that, in terms of the three groups of people, so when we die, right? All worship, acts of worship will stop, agreed? There's no more accounting except the three things that are still continuous to be benefit the deceased. The first one is the beneficial child. Beneficial child. No. No, but a pious child. That means the child is on benefits. A child who is able to make dua for you, right? Number two, beneficial knowledge that you have passed on others, like what we are talking about just now, right? Like next one, in the sadaqah jariyah, that is continuous, helping build a mosque, well, and all this. Yes.
So can you do Hajj for people that have got it?
Yes, according to many scholars, you can, right? And you get the reward. And the best part is that you also get the reward, right? Because when you do something, you get the reward of what you're doing. So in general, right, if you pass knowledge to the rest, you are like at the top of the pyramid, agreed? So, and the person, let's say your son, pass the knowledge to his friend, you also get the reward. And all is continuous, inshallah. Yes.
So what about the people then that give, like you're going to build a mosque and they ask you to donate a brick?
Yes.
Like what I see, they do.
Yeah.
Those people are there?
Yes, you get the reward for the worshippers that worshipping in the mosque, right? But of course, you'll be very careful. It's intended to be a Shia mosque. You get the sin of it. You agree? Of course, right? So, brothers, sorry to say this, right? I know some countries like in India, in Albania, may need money to build mosques. You must always have due diligence to ensure that the mosque is following Qur'an and Sunnah as best as you can.
Yes.
You agree?
Yes.
This is a bid'ah mosque in Indonesia, for example, right? Praying the Tarawih in 7 minutes, 6 minutes perhaps in Yemen, but 7 minutes in Indonesia, right?
You don't know until the mosque is built.
I know, but you need to ask. Again, as you said, if your intention is good, you do not know, it turns out to be a bid'ah mosque, then Allah knows best.
But you also have to make sure that the money that has been collected is halal.
Yes, of course. That's the thing. Yeah. But it is important to ensure you don't donate to any mosque. Agreed? Right? And this is your job to ensure that, inshallah, a new mosque that follows Quran and Sunnah will be built. Not a new mosque that will follow the bid'ah and the Sufi mosque and all this, right? If you ask, you would know, inshallah. Allah will guide you. If you don't ask, then it comes to a mosque that is innovative and you donate to it, you get, of course, right, the punishment for it. You have to be careful about it.
You don't get no reward in that.
Because you know the acts that are going to commit there will be against the teachings of Quran or the Hadith.
If he doesn't know it, then it's okay.
Yes, of course. And Allah knows best. Remember the hadith about there was one person who was donating money. It turned out the next day he found out, oh, the person is a prostitute.
Yeah. So,
Right? And then, okay, fine. Next day he went to donate. I can't remember. Then the person turned to be a rich person. And then again he made a donations, and then the next person, I think he's a thief, always stealing things, right? So he came to Prophet ﷺ, and then perhaps he said, you will get rewarded. Perhaps the person who went to prostitution will stop prostituting. Perhaps the rich person will learn from you and donate to others. Perhaps the one who's stealing will stop stealing. Right? So all this you get reward according to what we discussed, what's called intention. Right? But you do need to pay. Don't just, oh, they're building a mosque, I'll just donate. Right? Because part of Indonesians, for example, right, they believe in worshipping the grave and all this. Right? There are a lot of innovations are happening to some of the mosques. Right? So if you donate to that, surely, right, you're encouraging people who are not on the straight path. Yeah.
So how do you know they follow the Quran and the Sunnah? Because a lot of times, especially like when you go to different masajid, people will come and they say, oh, we are going to build a new mosque, we need to support, etc. How do you know that they will follow the Quran?
I think for me personally, right, if you're doubtful, I don't donate to that mosque. Because there's so many other mosques that may need your donation, agree?
Yeah.
Right? So if you're doubtful, I don't. And that's quite important to, well, you have to be responsible in the end.
You don't know where the money is going off.
Yeah, exactly. I hate to say this, right? And I won't mention which mosque, but you know the mosque, right? But I won't mention it, right? There was a time, I won't say it, there was a time that there was a collection for the dome of the mosque. And the dome of the mosque, right? And I've seen people take out 20 pounds. I said, oh, a lot of money, alhamdulillah. Nothing was done to the dome, right? So if you're that
Imam pull up in the Porsche the next day.
Imam went to America to go to Miami holiday.
So Versace sunglasses.
Okay. Yes.
So the Iman is a scam on him.
Sorry?
The Iman is a scam on him.
No. It's just that somebody announced. Right, there's a big donations going on. We're going to build whatever it is, right? But again, that's all I'm trying to say. If generally it's about the dome, you get the reward. Whatever happens to the money, agreed? You get the reward, inshallah. Don't worry. All I'm trying to say, to be careful. You do need to ask.
The money never go to the dome.
No.
You go to somewhere else.
We do not know. I do not know.
That's lying.
Yeah, it's lying, of course.
Building a dome in his
Some
house.
I don't.
The Imam's.
Come in his house, yeah. Okay, so this is important. Do you understand, brothers? Right? As much as Allah will reward you, but you do need to ask questions.
Yes.
Not every madrasa, every mosque has a good cause.
I'm speaking
Right.
to you.
What about those who? There's a mosque that we go to that does it. You donate to it and they put your name up somewhere.
Yeah.
You should avoid that, right?
Yeah, but
that's like.
but you can talking about AICC. Yeah, but you can request not to. You can request. It's up to
There's
you.
other ones where the brick will have your name.
It's not a mosque. Yeah, it's not a mosque.
exactly,
Yes,
yeah.
they did it, right? So you can opt. Would you put your name, Adam?
What?
For your children to put in selfie there and then take photos.
Yeah,
Yeah, I always remember one of them who showed off the wealth would end up in hellfire. Agree?
Yes.
Intention.
Oh.
Because the hadith, right? The long hadith, the martyr and all this end up with hellfire. It's as easy as that for Allah to dismiss our so-called charity when we do it for the sake of others. Okay. I remember when I first came out to this hadith a long time ago, I was shocked. No, I didn't know a martyr, a generous person, and I recited the Quran. When I first came out, I was really totally shaken. Then said, oh, Okay, I need to correct myself perhaps. I do not know, right? No, because when I was small, because my house was like my dress, everybody put me on a chair because I was short, right? Microphone is this tall. I go on the chair, go to recite the Qur'an and all this. I'm happy. Oh, people say, oh, mashallah. Then of course I was very happy, right? I was very happy. Then I need to, from that hadith, I had to just change myself.
But it's still pay off. Look
You question your purpose, right? Straight away.
Okay.
Second revelation.
Not yet. Because seeking knowledge is very important, right? Now, Umar ibn Abdul Aziz said, whoever acts without knowledge harms more than benefits. So that means there are a lot of people who act like a shuyukh, isn't it true? No, a lot of people think that all they need to do is to consult Sheikh Google and the answer come up just like that, right?
Islam Q&A.
ChatGPT now.
Sorry?
It's ChatGPT.
What's that?
ChatGPT.
Hey, you don't know.
Alhamdulillah, I'm protected. What's that?
Don't worry about it. You don't need to know. You don't need to know. Oh, go on.
Okay.
The next level.
Okay, that's that one. Too high for me to understand. Yes.
Even Sheikh Google don't tell a lie.
Sorry?
Sheikh Google, he tell a lie more time.
Of course, a lot of times. You have to remember a lot of Shia and Ahmadiyya.
Yeah, after you Google opinion,
You know-
and then you just go to the very bottom. You see like tiny corners.
You know, brothers, in Google, there's a way to put your name on top of the list, right? Because Google has many hundreds of. Let's say you talk about Islam, right? Just put Islam. So how to make sure that your name is there? So they know how to do it, right? Alhamdulillah, steps Allah actually was one of the top. There you can find some of the things that I work. Because sometimes I want to see what's happening to Google. My nose. Alhamdulillah. But there's a way. Alhamdulillah, one of the sisters know how to do it. So secret. Yeah. So whatever things that you do in terms of advice. Okay, this is the thing, right? If you are good in giving advice, make sure it's the correct advice because you get all the rewards. Great. But if the wrong advice, we get all the sins from the top, and if this person sent to the rest, that's why it's very important. It's not as easy as me or giving a talk and okay, I just say this. It's a lot of research. It needs to be authentic, inshallah. Of course, I raise up my hands. I have done before that, because everybody's doing it. That's why we talk about this, and I have corrected myself, right, on many occasions. So, for example, you may have heard in many mosques, people were saying, the imams were saying in Ramadan. The first 10 days, the hadith from Ibn Khuzaymah, right? The first 10 days is the days of forgiveness.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Right?
Yeah.
The next 10 days is the days of something else. I'm like, I can't remember. The last 10 days is the days of salvation from the hellfire, right? It's a long hadith. So hadith continued. If a person in Ramadan were to do sunnah deeds, it is rewarded as obligatory deeds. Something like that in the long hadith, right? And many more were talking about this, including me, of course, right? Talking about this hadith. And when I found out it is not authentic, I raised up my hand. I'm sorry, it's not authentic. We need to cut it off. It's quite important to well, we are human, right? We don't have a Prophet Muhammad's WhatsApp number, right?
Mm.
If we have his number, I can just, dear Rasulullah, right? Verify the authenticity for me. We don't have, right? We don't have the luxury, right? Alhamdulillah. We just correct ourselves when we found out. So another example is the hadith. Once come to month of Rajab, there's a hadith, right? Making dua, Ya Allah, like bless me in month of Rajab and all this, and make me meet month of Ramadan. That hadith is not authentic. You only can say, inshallah, Allahumma balighna Ramadan. May allow us to meet Ramadan, something like that, right? That is the only one that can. So again, I raise up my hand. Sorry, I did it wrong, right? I didn't know. The next one, of course, is the adhan. Adhan on the child's ear. Brothers, you will be facing pressure from your own family members, from your parents, from your grandparents. Why didn't you say the adhan on the ear? Even Ibn Uthaymin rahimahullah, he did say, he used to do it, and even he, as a human being, he raised his hand and he did his research, and that hadith about the adhan on the ear of the baby, this is not authentic.
Is it? Do you still make an adhan, or do you
Just stop it.
Okay.
Some cultures,
Yeah.
Moroccans and all this, right? They said adhan on right ear, Iqamah on the left ear, right? That is worse, right?
And then pray on to the baby.
Do you agree?
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Right. So it is important, right, that whatever knowledge you have, we make sure we spread the right knowledge as best as we can. Yet, I remembered when I went to Masjid Al Aqsa, right? I was with a group. Alhamdulillah, there were about 5 of us from Sets Allah. We went. There were about 45 or 50 people in the whole group. Most of them were northerners, so they speak with the Glaswegian accent, which I don't understand what they're talking about, right? Glaswegian and all this, some Surin Niqab was speaking with the Liverpool accent and Bradford accent, which is completely, yeah. So, yeah, so we had this, the sheikh or the group leader was saying, now there is a place called Miqat in Umrah, right? Miqat means a place where you say an intention to do Umrah, Allahumma labbaik Umrah, right? Now this places is so specific, you cannot make out your own Miqat. Because logically when you travel from Medina to Mecca, logically you say, oh, let's do your Miqat intention in Masjid Nabawi, of course. Supposed to be the best, isn't it true? But it's not. That is not the place for Miqat. If you go on a train, there's about 7 minutes or 8 minutes after the train leave Medina, there is announcement to say, oh, this is your Miqat. Yes. There's another mosque called Bir Ali, for those traveling the bus or car, that's the place where we do Miqat. Not in the thing that you think is the most holy place we do it. So that was when we were in Medina, I was in Aqsa, right? The whole group was saying, especially the Sheikhs, we do need to say our Miqat in Masjid Al-Aqsa. So everybody was in the attire, except the 5 of us. Because we said, hold on, there is no hadith at all. The Sheikh said, yes, there's a hadith, but it's a weak hadith. So any hadith, even if it's weak, we would accept it. Is it true? Any hadith which is weak, we will still accept it.
No.
Like Indonesians, right?
Yeah.
Except Muhammadiyah, of course. Quite strict. I mean, my people. My group. In
You
Indonesia.
mean the best?
The best
Indonesia.
follow Sunnah and Qur'an, inshallah. Yeah. Alright. Which has about 35 million members.
35.
Million. Even much more than the population of Albania, right? Sorry?
Is that the one that believes in Isa salam was not ascended to heaven? Is this the one? No, that's Ahmadiyya.
Ahmadiyya.
There's a
How dare you?
They sound the same shit.
Yeah, it's too close.
The names Ahmad and Muhammad is the same, right?
You know
Yes,
why?
sir.
Because I was working in Morden.
Yes.
And, you know that
Yeah, Modern is
mosque?
the big mosque. It's called, well, it's not a mosque, it's a temple.
Yeah, because I went there, I'm thinking, I've never been there before.
Yeah.
And they said Juma is 2 p.m. I said, what? It's like after Asr.
Really? Wow.
You sent me the video yesterday, complete wobblers, complete straight line.
Yeah.
And then, are you allowed to pray in them mosques?
No. Not in congregation, you can pray alone, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Not in congregation.
So hang on, if you pray behind Shia, then you found out after the prayer that you pray behind them.
No,
Yeah,
you break the prayer.
Not like after finishing the prayer.
You cannot. You know that.
How do you know? You
You
see
know
them,
it's
you
different.
hands down.
No, you know it's
big
different.
tie
No,
on their
because
head.
some of them, like they pray like us.
Very few.
They're not like
I've
us.
seen it.
The only thing that's difference between us and them, they say, oh, we believe that Ali should be the first Khalifa.
Yeah.
Well, like Zaidi.
After that,
Yeah, Zaidi.
Zaidi. Okay, in Yemen, they
Yeah.
exactly. Okay,
That's okay.
that might be harder
Yeah.
to.
So I think Allah knows best. If you do not know,
Yeah.
okay, your intention is there, right? So you do not know, but make sure again, due diligence, check around. If there's any. Usually, when people with a lot of ostentatious display of Allah Muhammad, it's truly Sufi mosque, right? Allah Muhammad. If you say Christmas tree, it's a Sufi mosque.
Christmas tree.
Yeah. Christmas tree.
Maybe you're another.
Okay. Now let's continue inshallah for a few minutes. Hassan al-Basri said, seek knowledge in a way that does not harm you acting on your worship, and worship in a way that does not harm your gaining your knowledge. Whoever acts without knowledge harms more than he benefits. Again, it's not just about going to any lectures, right? Who went to the lecture of Mufti Ming?
Did you go?
Right? Now, when talk about others, to warn them, it's not backbiting.
Yeah.
Right? So and this is what Kestas wrote to me, so I said, how is it that, well, he was saying, Kesta was saying something about Mufti Ming said that about hijab, right? If do not, okay, if you're working in a place and it's sinful, it's okay, right? And alcohol and all this, and many things, right? So you have to be very careful when you seek knowledge, and it's wrong knowledge, surely, right?
But his smile is so beautiful.
Yeah,
He's
that's
such a nice. He's
You have to
so
be careful,
more on his
right?
face.
You
Wow.
need to
Mufti
Yeah,
Meng.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Mufti? They say.
So again,
Taking the
right?
left now?
Brothers from it's not from me, even from the case as he wrote to me exactly what he said, and he himself was very annoyed by the Mufti Meng brought him down. That's exactly what he said, and he said any new you just seek to step to Allah, right? So it's very important that you seek a knowledge, proper knowledge, because you will only lose the benefit of that supposed to be good knowledge, but you're trying to, well, be popular, because Muslim is very popular, right?
Yeah.
Because you come to the places or people do Instagram and all this, take photos down with Mufti Meng, right? You have to be very careful in this, because it may harm you more than benefit you.
Is he literally Mufti or like a...
He's a Mufti in Zimbabwe. He is.
Yeah.
He is. He's on the head board of Zimbabwe. But Zimbabwe doesn't have that many Muslims.
If you go to America, be careful of many of the scholars,
I don't know who's
right?
Mufti in America.
Omar Sulaiman,
Yes,
Yasir Qadi,
Hamza Yusuf.
Hamza Yusuf, all these are so popular that it may people are more inclined to the popularity and more than the facts itself.
Yeah.
So some people like Omar Sulaiman were all trying to be goody nice to the LGBT community and all this, just to be accepted by the community. Always remember, brothers, when Allah said "Lakum dinukum waliyadin," what was the tafsir of that? Why was it? What did Allah say that?
To your religion and to mine.
Now, Quraysh came to the Prophet,
Yes.
and they said, let's make a deal.
We worship.
To be peaceful. We worship your Lord 1 year, then
Yes.
we come to worship our
Yes.
the idols 1 year.
Yeah,
Then this surah
yeah.
will...
And because you would think that it's okay, at least they know about Islam, right? No, Allah said no. Right? At no point must you compromise the deen. So it's very important, right? That at the end
It's
of
like
the day,
they wish us happy Ramadan, so we should say Merry Christmas back to them.
yeah. Who's it? I was wondering, yeah.
I forgot. You said
They're very upset when or even when they say salam to you.
Walaikum.
In all authentic hadith and the scholars, they say just greet them with wa alaikum. Yeah, but it's nothing wrong to say to them, oh, good morning, how are you? It's okay, right? Yeah, so you should greet them in a nice way. Yeah, because you just want to make sure, inshallah, do da'wah to them, to attract them to Islam, inshallah, right? So let's take a break, inshallah. We come back after Maghrib, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.